All right, and I think we are live.
Hopefully.
Yeah, so just want to get a quick test here. Okay, I think we're all good to hear. Welcome to a Jags United podcast.
What?
Yeah, so
Jags United.
This is the first time we've had Joey on since the rebranding and the name change.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Back when Joey was here, we were humbly known as Another Jags Podcast, and here we are now as Jags United.
Hey, upward bound, right?
That's right.
It's a cool name. I like it.
So I think the fans of the podcast all know who Joey is. If you don't know who Joey is, he's one of the greatest podcasters in the history of podcasting. And I think that's safe to say.
Or you're just not a fan. I mean,
yeah, that's true. I mean, there's no in between.
No.
So Joey, how have you been doing?
Been doing good, man. I'm good as anybody can. You know, just working through all this mess and trying to wait for sports to come back. Been loving golf back and even NASCAR and everything we can possibly watch. We got baseball now. Football's on the horizon, so it's looking good.
You know, I have gotten into golf recently.
How can you not?
I know.
mean, it's like literally the best thing around at the moment.
It's the only thing on for a while, but I've also gotten into playing myself, and
you kind of look like Bryson DeChambeau.
I mean,
you're on the same workout program.
I think the bug has gotten me. The bug has hit me, and I am all in, and I'm spending all my money now playing golf because it's an expensive sport.
It is.
I wish that it was a little bit cheaper, but
hey, when you hit that bug, it's good, man, and you got to play that much to get good. So that's a requirement almost. So it's kind of cool. Where you been playing at?
I've been playing Jack's Beach is my home course.
Of course,
I can proudly say. Although I do enjoy playing Windsor. I played Hidden Hills last week with actually a listener of the podcast.
Oh, nice.
Well, yeah, one of the day one listeners. So, yeah, it's been good.
Windsor was always my favorite back in the day as far as public went. Definitely a good course. Hard, though.
Yeah, very challenging.
What would you say your handicap is right now, home course, Jack's Beach, if you play tomorrow?
I'm hovering around like a little north of 100 right now.
Which is not bad. You've been playing for 6 months?
Yeah, so, you know, it's getting there. It's getting there for sure. But we've kind of taken a little break from the podcast. We've been doing some YouTube stuff. If you're watching on YouTube live, you can check out our other videos we did. You can hit us up on Twitter, Jaguars_United. Our website, jagsunited.com.
Which, again, I did see that and did a good job on that, man.
Has articles you can read.
Ooh.
All of our YouTube videos are up there. Podcasts are going to be up there. And we're going to put this podcast up on YouTube, probably like little highlights of it.
Cool.
But you can catch the entire podcast on the Big Cat Country feed of podcasts, where we'll put the whole thing up unedited for those brave souls that want to listen to that.
As always.
But we have taken some time off, and I would like to say a lot's happened since we last talked, but a lot hasn't happened since we last talked. The only thing that's really happened is they've said that the Jags were going to play at 25% capacity. So, Joey, let's just get it out there now. Let's just give us your thoughts now. Are the Jags even playing next year? Are they going to play a full schedule? What's it going to look like?
I mean, if you'd asked me a week ago, I would have said absolutely pro football is going to happen 1,000%. Some stadiums would have fans, some stadiums would not, based on the area they live in. And some have already come out, like Philadelphia said no. San Diego, I think, said no, which, I mean, makes sense with the governors they have and everything there. But with what's happening with baseball right now, man, I mean, they flew into it, and now you got almost the entire Marlins team quarantining, games canceled. So I still think NFL happens. If anybody can pull it off, they can. They've got the most money. They've got the best protocols. I'd be very surprised if college football happened, honestly. I think that's a hope and a dream. I don't see that happening, but I think pros definitely do.
Did it surprise you that the Marlins were the team that came up with the coronavirus positive tests?
Honestly, no. I mean, you really don't know what to believe or what to guess at this point. I mean, it didn't surprise me in the least that a team had that happen, because it was bound to happen. I mean, who that team was, was anybody's guess at that point. The fact that what really amazes me is that baseball really has no protocol for that.
Yeah, I would have thought that was something that they would have worked out ahead of time, was
of course
getting that done. So you say that Jags are going to play 25% capacity.
I don't know about that. I don't know if there'll be fans or not. And honestly, I don't really care. As long as there's some football on TV, then I'm fine. I mean, would you go to a game right now, or would you want to go to a game?
I would go.
Yeah?
Yeah, I would definitely go.
Well, you're one of those 10% hardcore.
I am.
I'm going to show up.
I am. And I mean, I get it. I don't have, I don't have kids. I don't have to worry about all these extraneous circumstances that a lot of people do. I got to work, so I can't miss time at work. But if I wear a mask and I wash my hands, I can go to a football game and sit 6 feet apart from somebody.
I don't think it's even that. My personal opinion is more cover your butt, which is what we're seeing with a lot of the protocols at work and other places. I don't think anybody's going to go and get horribly sick and put in the hospital from being at a football game with half the capacity or a quarter of the capacity or whatever it may be. I think it's if somebody does, even if they have mild symptoms, they could sue the Jaguars, and that's the issue. So my thought is if they are going to have fans there, I think it's going to be more of the upper echelon, like the boxes, like the club seats, like the big spenders, the advertisers. They're going to let them come and position them however they can. I don't think your average Joe fan is going to get the show up.
Big Dog on YouTube says, I'll still show up for quite a few games.
Well, Big Dog, do you have a box seat?
Yeah. Well, I'm with him there. I'm okay. I would definitely go. And I got no issue. Going. This thing hasn't scared me at all. I understand people with the implications of them being scared, but I'm not scared at all. I'll go. I've been going everywhere. I've been going to Publix. I've been going everywhere. I'm interacting with people. I work out at the gym.
Obviously.
The gym, the reason why I bring it up is because it was one of the places that was rated as the most dangerous place to go during coronavirus. So don't go to the gym. And I've gone, and actually it's cleaner than most other places. After someone uses the equipment, they're wiping it down with sanitizer after every use. People are wearing masks walking in and out of the club. I get it, but I'd go to the games.
I agree. My political 2 cents on it is a thing. But if you catch something and you don't have symptoms from it, is it really a thing that affects you? And in my opinion, no, I'm not as scared of it. Use the smart things, and I would go to a game if that was allowed. I just don't think that's going to end up happening. I don't think the owners are going to make that decision based on the fact that if something did happen, man, just a lot of money involved.
That's true. Well, if you're watching live on YouTube, we got Joey here with us today. Joey is one of the OGs. You all know who he is if you listen to any of our podcasts. From back in the day, how we got this thing started was podcasts with Joey and me.
Yeah.
Super excited about that.
To tack one more thing on there, I would like to hear from because you mentioned me and my fans, I'd like to hear from our English brethren, how it is there. That's a completely different perspective of how everything's being dealt with. Premier League soccer's come back. I know they have some fans, but not full capacity. But I don't hear anything about how that's going. Have you seen anything like that?
Well, I posted that we were going to be doing a live show at around 10 p.m. tonight, and a lot of our UK fans said that they would be sleeping because it would be about 3 or 4 a.m. there.
Well, that's weak.
You're right.
That's all I've got to say.
What kind of committed fan are you? But if you're watching this on YouTube later or you're listening to the podcast, you can hit us up on Twitter or you can leave a comment or anything like that. But yeah, let us know. Are you guys going to go to the games? Would you go to a game? If someone handed you tickets and they were like, hey, I have season tickets, I can't go today, I got a parking pass, tickets that are decent tickets, would you go?
That's a great question.
We'd love to hear from you guys. All right, Joey, let's have a little coronavirus question here. Taking out Gardner Minshew, not eligible for this answer. If there's one player on the Jags that could not get coronavirus, the last person that you would want to get, who would it be? Can't say Gardner.
Fournette.
Okay. Why?
Contract year. The entire offense ran through him last year. I hope that doesn't happen this year. We don't know. But he's got a lot to prove, and I think he's going to be an integral part of us having any kind of attack. So if he's out, plus his backups, man. Armstead, you got the guy from Washington that is good when he's not hurt, but he's been hurt nonstop. So, I think that's probably the second hardest spot to fill that is the most quality.
Yeah, that's a good answer, but for me, I'm going to go Linder. If Brandon Linder is hurt, then you have to bring in some guy at center that can't block or can't call the offensive line shifts, then this offensive line could be in trouble. And I think people are looking to this offensive line to take the next step this year. I think they're the biggest X factor when it comes to play and performance. As far as if the O-line plays well, this team could be okay. And if they play bad, this team will not be okay. So I guess for me, if he's gone, I know center is a position that you can typically just plug and play, but Linder is the guy. The highest graded player on our team via PFF last year, consistent over and over again. for sure. What about defense? Who's going to be the X factor on defense this year?
X factor as far as they've got COVID and are gone, or like?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's the same thing. Like if they're gone, then what?
I mean, you've got to go with somebody that's going to be running the defense, and are the star on the defense? I mean, our defense sucks this year, man. I mean, honestly, that's a tough. They're
young,
which means you suck because for the most part, you don't know what you're going to get out of them. Maybe I should say it that way. My most disappointing thing would be if Allen was out for some reason, because that guy's going to be a star, and I really like to see how he builds off last year, and I think he has the potential to be a legit Pro Bowl player this year. So I would say him.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I really want to see what C.J. Henderson does, and I think he's going to get picked on a little bit this year because he's a rookie, and rookies always get picked on.
Plus, he's extremely soft.
I don't think he's soft.
I'm kidding.
I think he was making business decisions last year by not trying to tackle big guys.
Okay.
I don't blame him.
I have no doubt that he could cover probably anybody in the league.
He'd cover anybody in the league.
So,
Jags fan Rick on our YouTube live chat says he won't go to any games because he refuses to wear a mask because they don't work. Jags fan Rick is a hardliner in the sand about those masks.
Everybody has their opinion, and whether I agree or disagree, I mean,
it doesn't really matter at all.
It doesn't.
Rick, I'm kind of with you. I wear a mask just to appease people.
I forget my mask like 90% of the time. I have to
like
either
7.
go back and get it, or I'll walk in and I'll be like, "Does anybody have them on?" No, good, I can go in. Or I mean, it's like, come on, man.
I went in a place the other day and they were like, "Nah, you got to get a mask or we can't serve you." I was like, "Okay." I'm not going to get upset. I'm going to go get my mask out of my truck, and I'm going to walk back in the 5 feet that I walked
and then take
in,
it off when I sit down.
And get on right when I sit down.
Because that's just straight science right there.
Yeah. Jags fan Rick is informing us all that only N95 masks only work 7% of the time.
7 or 70?
He says 7.
7. I think he meant to type 70.
I think he meant 7. Invisible Color says linebacker number 55 looks like he's going to be a monster, very strong. Who's at 55?
That's a great question.
That,
you're acting like we're professionals here.
Is that Shaq Quarterman number 55? I can look it up here real quick. That's why I have my computer, my handy laptop, so we can look these things up. I just did a breakdown video of the linebackers on our YouTube. It's our last one we did, the positional breakdown of the linebackers, and I think I covered all of the ones that were.
I don't even have a 55 on my depth chart here, so.
Lorente McCray. That was on my depth chart. Is that who you meant, Lorente McCray? Because he's kind of more of an edge player, D end. Gator though, so I mean, always root for Gators for sure. Rookie college number 55. I think he means Shaq Quarterman.
Which I mean, hey, I love that signing.
Dude, I did a total 180 on this, and I do this every year. Every year we draft players, and I have an instant reaction, and I go back on it. When I went back and watched Shaq Quarterman, he's perfect for this defense.
He is.
Like, how many times have we heard in the last 2 years from everybody that we need another puzz on this team?
Somebody who can tackle and tackle hard and be in the right position.
Yeah.
He's not going to blow anybody up like speed-wise,
No.
But that's not what we need. We need him.
We have athletes on the defense.
They run right by everybody.
Shaq Quarterman is the closest thing to puzz of any linebacker we have. Even Joe Schobert, who, although may look like him in a sort of way, isn't the same type of player.
No.
Joe Schobert ranked like in the top of the league last year as a coverage linebacker. He only had like a 44 run stopping grade. So better player against the pass. He had 4 interceptions last year, and they were like pretty impressive catches too. He had really good games against the Steelers and I think the Bengals last year. I mean, he went off in 2 of those games. But Quarterman is going to be he's going to play this. Someone in the YouTube comments, I said he's going to play Sam linebacker, and they said there's no way he plays Sam linebacker. He's a Mike linebacker, and I think you got to understand what I meant by that is he's going to play the strong side. He's going to play against the run. Big Dog in the comments says we need Quarterman to stop Derrick Henry.
That's a prime example of somebody who could do that, and what we're missing. He's a local boy too, and fortunately or not, I've got a bunch of Miami fans on my team at work, and they are diehard from South Florida. Follow recruiting, follow all that, and the kid didn't get the best opportunity there, didn't get the best coaching, didn't get the best weightlifting program because of everything Miami had going on. But he's that guy that still showed up, even though they're having a losing season, busting his butt at practice, and he can tackle, man. We need somebody who can tackle. I'm excited about him. He plays
How many
hard.
times did we miss tackle last year against the run? We couldn't stop the run. He's going to stop the run. He's going to be able to fill the gaps.
Yeah.
4-year starter at Miami. First team All SEC his junior and senior year. I think he ended his career with Miami with like 155 solo tackles.
Which is important.
Think about that. 155 solo tackles. Not combined tackles like you and someone else tackled him like by himself wrapped up a guy.
I mean, that's what, 40-something a season? I went to Fletcher. It's a little difficult math off the bat.
Go to Oakley
It's pretty close.
Quarterman. Yeah, I mean, great player. 42 tackles for loss in his 4 years. I mean, I'm really excited about him. I'm excited about a linebacking core. Bringing in Shaq Quarterman is a great move. Bringing in Joe Schobert. Someone in the comments said something about Schobert.
Why are people knocking him so hard? Because he seems like that was a pretty solid pickup, man.
Well, we did pay him a lot of money.
So it's not our money. We're gonna be
you were only budgeted so much
but
for your
dude,
salary cap.
We're gonna be the best under the salary cap in the entire NFL next year. So I'm not worried about
the Colts
that.
are looking pretty good.
Okay, we'll be one of the top 3 with the salary cap next year. I
That's
mean, come
true.
on, we're not in a salary
That's
cap
true.
position anymore.
No, I mean,
we
I like
fixed
Joe
that.
Schobert. I didn't see a lot of hate for Joe Schobert.
No?
He's not great against the run, and I think
Okay.
the Jags struggled mightily last year against the run. So to see them bring in a guy for $50 million, $22 million guaranteed, that can't really stuff the run, and you lost a guy like Calais Campbell, you lost a guy like Marcel Darius, who's going to stop the run? I mean, if you're an offensive coordinator playing the Jags in 2020, do you even throw the ball until you have to?
No.
Exactly. So Quarterman will help. Miles Jack will hopefully help moving to the outside.
Well, see, I'll stop you right there because is that happening? Because I mean, everybody wants it to. Everybody thinks. I mean, he's going to be unbelievable there. Are they actually going to do it?
Yeah, they talked about when they brought in Schobert. Miles Jack said he was excited about moving back to the outside.
Yeah, I would hope so.
Marone said he's going to move him back out. And yeah, and I mean, really, and here's the bottom line as far as that goes. Miles Jack is a very instinctual player, plays off of instincts, feel. When he's playing the Mike linebacker, middle linebacker, captain of the defense, he has to sit in the middle of the field and he has to read the guards and the pulling tackles and the backfield, and he can't just play.
He can't be reactive at that point.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
He's overthinking. And it's not a knock on him because if you've spent any time around football, there's players like that. There's players that are just most DBs are not thinkers. They're just athletes that can just play the position really well.
Well, it's like that safety that wants to be a center fielder, but not somebody who has to think about what he's doing. Just let me go out there and roam the field, but that doesn't work all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Denny Airy, I can't read that, but he says my eyes are terrible in my age. It says I saw a ranking today about linebackers, rankings that said Jags were 12th in linebackers.
I honestly think that if you'd asked me what I thought was the biggest improved position group on the team, I would have said that for sure. So it doesn't surprise me.
Well, what's funny about the position, it was a weakness ending the year, and I think it might be a strength.
Yeah,
now.
It's one of the few ones we upgraded pretty nicely.
And I expect Leon Jacobs to be better this year. I expect Quincy Williams to be better this year. Even Perry Nickerson, I think he's fast, linebacker. So
I mean, I think the only thing that might save them is our secondary is going to be so bad that they're going to throw all over the place.
I don't know. I don't know about that. We can get into that in a little bit, but I don't think so. They're young. I don't think they're going to be bad. I think they're going to be young, though, for sure. We got a little argument here about masks, which we'll just pass over that. Someone asked, "What's the deal with James O'Shaughnessy? He was catching on before he got hurt." I mean, that's James O'Shaughnessy. He does really well, and then he gets injured or he gets taken off the field. I think he had a pretty serious knee injury, actually.
He did. He blew it out. But, I mean, he was doing, really well, even for him. And he was a bright spot to start the season. And I think he's going to have to be this year. I hope to God he's actually recovered and can kind of give us some of that production because we got nobody else, man.
I don't think anyone has been as big as a supporter of James O'Shaughnessy than we have.
No, we love him. We want him to play a full season and, give us 600 yards and 7 touchdowns and block, and we'll be happy as heck.
I watched a lot of what Jay Gruden did in Washington, specifically in the 2017 season. And the reason why is because in 2017, he had his quarterback, Alex Smith. He had his team around him. He's had injuries at the quarterback position since 2017. So 2017 was the last time he could get a real look at what he wanted to do with a roster. and he ran a lot of 2 tight end sets.
Okay.
He ran Jordan Reed, Vernon Davis. Loved the 2 tight end sets, and I think that's a perfect combo for Tyler Eifert and James O'Shaughnessy. The question is going to be: can James O'Shaughnessy come back and play healthy, or is he going to bounce back and forth from the injury list? And we're gonna
Same thing with Eifert though. I mean, he was like a pitch count guy last year at Denver, right? I mean,
he was at Cincinnati.
Sorry, yeah.
I think he played 16 games last season.
Well, he did, but it was like he had like eight looks every game, and
yeah, I mean, he was definitely the tight end too. He wasn't the starting tight end there, but that was the first time he played that many games ever in his career. He's been injury prone his whole life. James O'Shaughnessy coming off an injury. Josh Oliver, who knows what he is. I know there's the.
I saw his name. I had no idea who he was. It's right here.
Like Tyler Johnson. We picked up another dude that people like. So we'll see. Tight end position is definitely up in the air. Jason Ortiz says he loves you, Joey.
Oh, I don't even know who Jason is, but I appreciate that, man. That makes me want to come back even more.
I love Joey too. I'm glad.
Jason finally broke down. He just couldn't stand it anymore. He's like, "You've got to come over."
Sitting here doing YouTube videos by myself like a loser.
That's pretty embarrassing.
Jags fan Rick says we don't have squat for a tight end.
We don't.
Well, if they're healthy, we're good. We're good. Big Dog says, why doesn't the Jags invest in the secondary? Well, they drafted Henderson with the first pick in the draft.
They did. Like you said, that they're young.
They're young.
You just have no idea. I mean,
they might have something in Ronnie Harrison.
I agree.
That's fair, right?
I think he's solid.
They gave Gerard Wilson a contract extension. I mean,
he led the team in tackling the last 6 games of the season, right?
He played pretty decent.
He did
last year. Trey Herndon. He's a Vanderbilt guy.
He's serviceable.
He's a Vanderbilt
He's smart.
guy. He got picked on in the Denver game, but besides that, he played well.
He kind
of played well. Invisible Color says, yeah, ACL Eifert is no more reliable. Well, the thing is that Tyler Eifert didn't play a single snap. Well, he might have played a single snap, but he didn't play that many snaps lined up like it was a hand in the dirt tight end.
Sure.
Like he was a stand-up slot receiver.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you factor in the fact that we have a guy like Colin Johnson. You factor in the fact that, you brought Laviska Shenault, who's going to get slot snaps. How many snaps are there to go around if he's not going to play tight end? And if he does play tight end, is he going to get hurt? Is a question. Denny Aries says we have a decent tight end core. Josh Oliver could be good. He could be good. He also could be bad. We know nothing about him. So to be fair,
I refuse to buy into the could be goods anymore. I'm done with that, man.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume they're horrible until they prove otherwise. And in that group I don't think one of those guys would start on another team in the NFL.
Yeah. Maybe. Zachary Duncan says, what do you guys think about Ronnie Harrison?
I love Ronnie Harrison.
I do too. Here's my issue with Ronnie Harrison. Doesn't wrap up sometimes.
Okay.
Comes downhill.
Fair enough.
Strokes you. Yeah. Hits you with the shoulder pads.
They bounce off
the helmet,
and keep going.
Bounces off and the guy keeps going. Yeah.
Fair enough.
I want to see him bring his hands, wrap up, drive his legs, and make a tackle.
But, he's young too. That can be coached, right? You got the right guy in there.
Yeah, he is young. And Nick Saban even said when he was coaching with Alabama that he every year is getting better.
Yeah.
One of his weaknesses when he was in college was reading the quarterback's eyes. And he's actually gotten a lot better at that since he's become a pro. Real athletic guy. I think he's going to stick around long term.
I think so too.
Kind of played that box safety, come downhill against the run. We just were so bad against the run. It was hard to get a fair evaluation of anyone last year. Of anyone.
So, on that note, Darcius, he didn't get picked up by another team. Is he totally injured at this point? That stomach issue is way more than
yeah. And he's old and
he's 30.
He's
got a lot of miles on the tank.
He might get picked up somewhere. Training camp. You never know.
So that's really where our run game fell off big time.
Yeah, it was. I saw a stat after week 9. We were last in the league in pretty much every defensive category. So, you look at total defense at the end of the year, and you're like, okay, we were 27th. That's okay. We can work from that. But after week 9, after we traded Jalen Ramsey, I think Miles Jack actually only played 11 weeks or something like that. We had we
had that stretch of 5 games where
we just got if you look at the
200 plus rushing
I remember looking at
game.
Have you ever watched a team and been like, who are these? We know who these people are, but it's why is Austin Calitro playing so why is Najee Good playing so much? And I get that we're injured and that you have to do it, but
and that's why I say our defense is going to be horrible. they were just so bad last year. And I think we're going to have a pretty good pass rush this year. We'll probably be better against the run and maybe in the middle. But, dude, I think we're going to get burned deep and on the outside, like hard. So we'll see.
Well, so you don't have any faith in TJ Henderson at all?
You're asking a rookie. You got nobody on the other side of the field that's going to make the field smaller. So you're asking your defensive coordinator to have a perfect game plan every game because you can't rely on that. And you're asking a rookie to be the guy that you can rely on against everybody's top receiver. Man, I mean, he's going to get a lot of opportunities to prove himself.
That's a very positive way to phrase that. Yeah, can you imagine being Tampa Bay and Tom Brady lines up?
Oh, my God.
Tom Brady lines up with Evans.
It's Christmas.
Godwin. And he's looking at the Jags secondary going like, oh, my. And Gronkowski in the middle of the field.
And they're just like shaking. Like, what's he going to do? It's going to be bad. But we have the opportunity. I think it's like I said, I think the best case for this year is we win, 2 to 4 games, but we lose all our games like 30-28. And that'll be exciting. It's kind of my take on it. Because we haven't talked about our wide receiving core, which I'm actually really excited about.
Big Dog asks, who are the starting wide receivers this year? Also, is Cole going to make the roster? To which Zachary Duncan respond, DJ Chark, Chris Conley, D.D. Westbrook, Laviska Shenault with Keelan Cole.
I completely agree with the first two as our starting. I think D.D. and Shenault. I think Shenault might pass up Conley or D.D. depending. I don't necessarily think that one catch in the air homeboy is going to make it this year. He's going to be living back in his car.
Keelan Cole?
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you guys, and I got some flack. I'm a sunshine pumper. I'm an optimist.
You are?
I'm an optimist.
You
guy.
are definitely.
I like to see the best in people. And like when I first got into this, I always listened to like analysts or media talk about players, and I'm a former coach. I came to the media late. I was a coach, player first, then media, and I always remember thinking about media, thinking like, who do these guys think they are? Talking anything? These guys are the cream of the crop athletes. Amazing. I'm the last person to criticize an athlete. All of our receivers are incredibly athletic, amazing wide receivers. I don't see any of these receivers outside of Chark and Shenault on this team after next year.
I don't know, man. Conley impressed me last year. He's a good 3-4. And I still I've been the DD guy since day one. I'm still holding on to one more season for him because he was really hurt last year with the neck stuff. He just plays so hard and he's so fast. I think he can still prove himself, and I hope he does.
I hope he does. And like I love to be proved wrong. I have no pride. DJ Chark is a beast, but we saw at the end of the year when teams started double teaming him and bracketing him and doing those things that he pretty much got shut down.
And most receivers would.
Absolutely, especially when you're not getting any help from like the other side of the field.
Yeah.
Chris Conley came in, gave you 800 yards, but if you think of Chris Conley pretty much got starting reps all year. And the most he could give us was 800 yards. Yeah. And I know there was the quarterback controversy, but you have a guy like Gardner Minshew who was like running around buying time. And when Nick Foles came in at quarterback, Nick Foles like loved Chris Conley, and he like tried to force feed Conley balls. And I see Chris Conley around the beach all the time. God-given size and athleticism.
He does fit the part.
But for some reason, he's just not making plays for this team.
Now, is it Shenault that's basically like the same receiver as Conley? Like size-wise, like he's...
Yeah, I mean, Shenault is more dynamic. He's more athletic. He's more like explosive.
Okay.
But it was the thing with Shenault is he going to be able to be healthy because he's been injured his whole college career. That's the big question mark for him. So, really physical runner. I like Shenault. He's one of my favorite players to watch.
He was a neck too, right?
With injury?
Yeah.
He's had a bunch of injuries. I mean, he's had all sorts of things. Let's see here. Let's move on to some of these comments. Richard Jones. Oh, let's talk O-line. I like it. Do you think Will Richardson will start at left tackle over Cam Robinson?
1,000% no. I think Cam was coming back from a major injury, had a great first year, and he's going to get back to that form this year. I mean, technically he's good. He still isn't the right size in the right spots. Like strength-wise, I think he's just kind of flabby in some spots. But, dude, Will Richardson did not prove himself at all.
I'm I'm the last person to talk bad about athletes, and I would never want to talk bad
Said
about
the same thing
I
again.
would never want to talk bad about anyone. But Will Richardson and Cam Robinson, I think both of those players are not going to be on the team in a couple of years. I mean, I think they'll be on the team next year, but they both have showed me nothing.
I agree about that. That wasn't the question. The question was, does he beat him out next year? We're talking about 2020.
No, I think Will Richardson's a swing player that moves in and plays for anyone that's
I just
injured.
hope to God they don't do the whole rotation thing anymore on the line. I mean, nobody does that. It's the dumbest thing in the world. The whole thing's cohesion, playing together, knowing what the other guy's going to do, and you're rotating guys in and out.
Yeah, I've never seen a situation where you can't give the job away.
I know.
You got two people, and you're trying to give the job away to one of these two guys, and oh gosh, the offensive line.
Since we're on that, does Jawan Taylor lead the league in penalties next year?
No, because I think that's a rookie error.
It is.
I mean, you come in. I mean, that's
you're also like the anti-penalty guy. You're like, penalties don't really matter.
Penalties don't matter. You
So
look
you
at
get
guys
like
who
64.
You
of
look
them,
at guys who have teams that are like Super Bowl contenders every year, like top of the league in penalties.
Yeah.
Except for when it comes time to the playoffs.
Except when they like crush every like drive and anyway.
Yeah. Let's see here. Conley is a freak athlete. He's 6'3". Chenault is 6 foot. Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
I mean, when you see Conley, I mean, I'm telling you, I've seen Conley like walking around the beach, like bathing suit, shirt off. Dude fits the part. Like
a little man crush type.
Dude, I'm not
impressed.
gonna say if he wants to talk to me, I'll talk to him. I'm not gonna say anything bad about him to his face. That's for sure.
Nice.
Richard Jones says Chris Conley had a career high in yards with 775, though. Yeah, he did. I mean, he was buried on that Kansas City depth chart for sure. I like a lot of things about Chris Conley, but usually you have to be special to be a productive wide receiver in the NFL nowadays.
Very true.
And usually you can identify a special wide receiver right away. You know what I mean?
And we also don't have the benefit of any kind of preseason or much of a camp to where Minshew can find his guy outside of Chark. Chark's already his guy, so he's going to get most of the looks when it comes down to it. So that doesn't leave a lot of balls for the other guys. So that's going to come into play.
I think Eifert and Chenault will kind of factor into that a little bit because, like you said, he's going to have to find a dump off because, I mean, they were, like I said, they were double teaming Chark by the end of the season.
Fournette. He'll catch the ball 45 times a game.
Yeah, and he will.
3 yards per carry.
That's true. I mean, he will. I mean, he did well in the receiving game last year. We'd be remiss if we didn't talk about Leonard Fournette in the receiving game because he was one of our top receivers last year.
He made huge strides.
He did. I mean, and we got Chris Thompson this year, who is a receiving back.
That's what he's known for.
I mean, especially Jay Gruden. Jay Gruden knows how to use Chris Thompson. They have a lot of history going back to using Chris Thompson in the offense, third down back. Give Fournette a break so he can come back in on first down, like maybe not tired and maybe get some yards on first down.
I guess my question would be, is Gruden going to bench somebody on the offensive line for sleeping with the same girl as him and then ruin Minshew's career with like a career-ending leg break? Is that going to happen?
I can see it happening.
It's possible, right?
Yeah,
and then we're in trouble because, I mean, what, Hoyer?
There's somewhere
Dobbs?
There's somewhere a timeline where that's happened before, I think.
I'm pretty sure there's pretty
a
much
timeline.
like it's written down in a scroll somewhere now in history.
Denai, Airy, and Zachary Duncan both bring in Barch. And Barch is going to need a year to grow. I think Barch will take that spot seriously. Ben Barch, Division II tackle.
Is this the guy that made like protein shakes out of like
the Gatorade and whatever else?
Concrete and all kinds of stuff?
Yeah. Look, I hope he does. He probably will need a year. He definitely seems like the type of guy that could play offensive line in the NFL.
Oh, he's got a backstory. He's got a chip on his shoulder. He's an underdog, man. I mean, he's checked all 3 boxes for me.
He's got everything you want.
He seems like a good dude too. I listened to some interviews with him, and I mean, it's tough to put on weight like that and to transform yourself. But again, he's gonna be raw, and you're going up against pros. That's gonna be hard.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's only a matter of time before he fits into that bro lifestyle, to be honest. So, I mean, good for him, though.
Yeah.
All right, let's hit some more of these YouTube comments. Would you guys have wanted the Jags to make a push for Jamal Adams? Jan and a first, maybe?
We've done that 10 out of 10 times.
You would have traded Jan and a first
absolutely
for Jamal Adams?
Absolutely.
Why?
Because he's like the next Troy Polamalu, man. He's like a 5-tool baseball player playing football. I mean, the guy plays in the box. He's kind of like a linebacker. He can play outside. He can play center field. I mean, the dude is an absolute once-in-a-10-year player. I mean, whether he actually plays that way for the next 6 or 7 years, that's going to be the gamble. But Seattle, I think, made a good call on it. I mean, he's a stud.
I don't think he's worth what Seattle paid.
Well, nobody is.
I'm thinking back. I watched that Jags-Jets game a bunch of times. And Jamal Adams definitely was the best player on the field for the Jets defense, but at no point was I ever like, this guy's worth a first-round pick.
But you're giving up a guy who doesn't want to be here and a first-round pick we're going to blow next year anyway? I mean,
I think a straight trade, Jan, for Jamal Adams would have been okay with me.
No way, though.
But,
man.
I mean, the safety position, I mean, what's the drop-off from Jamal Adams to Ronnie Harrison? Like, I know there is a drop-off. I'm not delusional. But what's the drop-off realistically? Is it at a box safety position? If your team can't stop the run, a box safety isn't going to turn that around. Like, because then they'll just spread you out and run it with him out of the box. Like, I don't know. I get it. I mean, you always want to improve your roster, but you know what you can do with first-round picks? I mean, I love what we did with our first-round picks this year. I love C.J. Henderson. I love K'Lavon Chason. You're telling me to give up one of those guys for Jamal Adams? I'd rather have either one of those guys.
I just don't want Jan here because he doesn't want to be here.
Yeah, get rid of Jan.
But we can't. So if that would have been an
I don't
option,
care. I don't care what
we're
we're doing for. I'm over him. We don't need him.
I agree.
We don't need him. Let's see here. Will Shenault take snaps in the backfield? I didn't see Jay Gruden do too much of that gimmicky stuff. He does like some end arounds and some sweeps, but he's more of a guy that's just gonna throw it to him on a tunnel screen and a bubble screen than he is a guy that's going to give him snaps in the backfield. Jay Gruden is like very prototypical offense. I mean, it's been said that the Grudens have their own style of a West Coast offense, and that's what it is. It's their own style, but it's nothing too gimmicky.
Is that like a Tyreek Hill thing? Like, who snaps it directly to the wide receiver?
Yeah, I mean, you see people do it. Derrick Henry did it. Tyreek Hill does it. I mean, you see people do it all the time.
Just on an off note, did you see that Tyreek Hill video today running the 100-yard dash with like Patrick Mahomes and somebody else?
Oh, I did not.
And he
see
like
that
lets up like 7 yards in and still runs like a 4.43. Like, you can see him like pull back, still ahead of everybody, and dude, that guy's so fast.
Yeah. He also hits his girlfriend, so I guess
allegedly.
Richard Jones says, also, can you both predict Minshew's stats?
No.
Wow.
I mean, it could be. I mean, you want to talk about?
I want you to predict. Is what I want.
Okay, you want my guess?
I want your
I'm not gonna
prediction.
predict anything.
I want your prediction of Minshew's stats. That's what I want, Joey. No beating around the bush. No getting out of this one.
So
bookmark it.
4,000 yards, 20 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions with 3 fumbles.
That's not a lot of fumbles for a guy that fumbles a lot.
He fixed it in the second half of the season.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to say 3,500, 25 touchdowns, 15 interceptions.
How many fumbles?
6. Ooh. Yeah. He's mobile.
Does he make it the whole season?
I mean, I think he plays 14 games.
Okay.
He plays 14 games. Yeah. Thoughts on Jr Reid, the undrafted free agent the Jags signed? Jr Reid's out of Georgia. I liked him at Georgia. Never once did I think Jr Reid was going to be a guy like an Earl Thomas type guy.
Plus, didn't he play basketball first?
You may be thinking of Jordan Reid, maybe?
No, Jr Reid was an old school basketball player, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. All right. Maybe. But,
bad joke.
The Jr Reid, I have a buddy who is big into Jr Reid, and he thinks that he's going to take over the starting spot. And he honestly believes that. So you're not alone with your thoughts on Jr Reid. I think there's a groundswell of people that think that Jr Reid will actually be good. But Jags fan Rick saying won't make the team. OTAs, maybe practice squad is probably more realistic. But hey, I'm rooting for the guy. Look, I love underdogs. They're the best. Lovell Evans says, if we can get one running back, one tight end, and one wide receiver to be consistent all season with no injuries, I think our offense will be okay. What do you guys think?
Yeah. That's the sauce right there.
Well, we had a running back and a receiver that were consistent last year. We had Fournette and Chark.
Chark fell off the last 7 games.
Yeah, he did. He was a Pro Bowler though.
But I wouldn't call it consistent. That's starting hot and then falling off because they figured him out.
Okay, but would you say would he have been consistent if he had Minshew the entire season?
I mean, it's probably more likely, yeah.
Yeah. Tight end, yeah. I mean, the offense can't get any worse.
No.
It can't get any worse.
It definitely cannot.
Even the offense that we had last year didn't come alive till the fourth quarter. So, I mean, even the little bit that we had, I mean, I'm a big Minshew guy. I love Minshew, but there's no beating around the bush that the guy didn't do anything the first 3 quarters.
No,
and
he does not start hot, that's for sure.
Yeah, and the defense kept us in games, a lot of games last year. He's got to get that figured out. And I think he's a rookie. I think he will.
What did we average? 19 points per game last year? Does that sound right?
Yeah, I mean,
17.9 something. I mean, that's bad.
Denny Aries says Jamal Adams causes too many problems. He's all about posting the drama on Twitter, and Jan already annoys me with his antics on Twitter. That's true. That's true, dude. Like,
has there been a bigger flip flop from like a team guy that posts nothing but like extreme workout videos to what he's done the past year?
Jalen Ramsey thing happened quick.
Yeah, you could see that coming though.
That happened quick.
You could see that.
He
coming.
was a fan favorite.
Well, yeah, but I mean, he still was like flashy and like had that neon Dion about him and talk smack.
God,
and like Jan went from like
Ramsey.
just like Boy Scout, I'm just in the gym 12 hours a day, to I hate everybody in Jacksonville and don't want to be here.
You know what
it seemed like.
You know when a girl breaks your heart and like you can't date for like a year? That's how I feel about Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah,
I'm just now getting over Jalen Ramsey.
Did you set your jerseys on fire?
No, I'm not saying. What if we get them
still
back
hanging
one
in your
year?
closet?
I have dreams every night that we're going to trade back for him somehow, and I'm going to be able to wear those jerseys
calling
again.
it the Jason Trent curse because of those jerseys.
So we have Matt Jones up here. If you don't know why we have Matt Jones up here, it's a long story. I get comments all the time on YouTube. How can you trust a guy with a Matt Jones jersey on the wall?
That's my fault, guys. It was a gift.
I'm like, you don't get it, guys.
I mean,
you just don't get it.
It's one of the best jerseys of all time.
If you're a Jags fan and you don't respect that, then
I challenge anybody to go try to buy a Matt Jones Jaguar jersey right now. Can't do it.
Oh, man. All-time favorite Jaguars. He's up there. He's up there for sure. Jason Ortiz says, agreed. Move on from Jan already. Haas also says the Duval effect is real. Alex Icarus says Jan said that he wanted to be a captain coming into the season. Now he only talks about leaving.
So, first of all, what's the Duval effect? Like everybody wants out of here?
Probably.
Okay. Second of all, do you think there is any chance, first of all, Jan plays here, and then second, that he is productive?
I think he plays here.
Okay. So if he does, then he would have to be productive because he wants out of here, right?
Yeah, and I mean, he's a productive guy. Like he gets production when he on passing downs. There's no doubt about that. Think about, I mean, the guy's made under $5 million in his career in the NFL. He can make that in 5 games next season.
But he turned it down.
Well, I mean, he didn't turn it down. I mean, he can play on the tag, the franchise tag, and he literally can play in 5 games and surpass his contract earnings. And I know people are like, oh, it doesn't matter. He's playing for his future. These athletes
does matter. Take the money when you can
yeah,
get it.
Look at how many times have these athletes deferred their contracts to the next season. It never works out.
Or blow out a knee and you're not the same player
Exactly.
anymore. I mean, you've got to take the money while it's there. You
Yep.
have a short time frame to do it. Passing up that kind of money is just dumb.
He probably, if you're playing the odds, will never have an opportunity to make that much money in 1 year ever again.
No, I mean, look at Clowney. Look at the other players in his position that are better than him. What are they getting? They're not getting $20 million a year.
Yeah.
He'll never get that again.
No. So I think he does play, and I think he plays with the chip on his shoulder.
Well,
and then
I hope so.
Quickly, due to the Duval effect, leaves, which is fine because
And
we
I'm good with that.
got people there to replace him, so we're all good. Let's see here. Richard Jones. How long will it take? How long will Doug Marrone and Dave Caldwell last this season?
They either have some kind of sex tape on Shad Khan or have signed some kind of pact with the devil. I think Caldwell's here for the long term. I think Marrone, if we have another bad season, is gone.
I can't imagine them getting another year after this year if they don't wwin 6 games.
But you said that before
I
this
said
coming
that-
year,
I
and I
say
said
that
they're
every
both
year.
coming back.
I say that every year. You're right. I don't know what to believe anymore.
Caldwell is not going anywhere. He writes good contracts. The Cons like him for some reason, and he signs enough good players and makes enough good picks to where I don't think he's going anywhere. And there's nobody really. That's the thing. Who do you go get?
Well, I think the biggest thing going for Caldwell is he's like really well respected amongst like GM circles. Like,
yeah, exactly.
when you go to Indy to the Combine and when you go to these owners meetings, like Caldwell's name comes up a lot in positive lights.
And there's
like,
only a handful of those guys.
Exactly. So do you roll the dice with a guy who could be as good as Caldwell or horrible, or do you get a guy that you know has respect amongst the league? The Coughlin thing obviously set us back a couple years, but any Jag fan would have made that Coughlin move.
Absolutely.
I mean, to act like that bringing in Tom Coughlin was
Oh, it was a good call. It
yeah,
just
I
didn't
mean,
work.
everyone was saying bring Conley in, and he was here, and we had no idea of the things that were going on behind the scenes. That's maybe something the owner should have been more in touch with and about, is those types of things happening, to where the NFLPA was like, don't go to Jacksonville.
But he's also that respected guy that's got a lot of success that probably people weren't willing to talk bad about behind his back. So they might not have been able to get that information. I 100% believe that Marone's gone, we get Trevor Lawrence, and Gruden's the head coach next year. I mean, I think that's the writing on the wall from the get-go.
Yeah, I mean, you got, not only do you have Gruden in the staff in the rooms, you have McAdoo. I mean, you have guys that are here that have a lot of experience. I mean, if you added up the amount of head coaching experience with this team, it's insane.
Yeah.
But that doesn't always mean your team's going to be good. Like, I've over and over again have seen teams with incredible coaching staffs that didn't do anything, because it's not always about X's and O's. It's more about Jimmys and Joes, and that's probably just another topic for another time. Banks says he agrees. Yards 5,000. I think he says Minshew 5,000 yards passing.
What led the league this year? Like 5,600 with Winston. That's pretty bold.
I'm here for it. Let's just throw the ball every play.
We will be playing behind.
What
like,
do we
every
have
game,
to lose?
So
Yeah.
I mean, you're right. There might be some. All right.
Haas All says, are y'all going to the Jags games next year? We kind of talked about at the beginning of the show that I would and Joey wouldn't, right?
I mean, I only go to like 2 a year anyway, just with the family and time and all that. And probably not, man. I mean, this is going to be a TV season.
I'm okay with that. TVs are nice nowadays.
They are.
Do you believe Josh Oliver will be productive this year, or even have a chance to be productive?
No.
Sorry that we don't spend more time on that. Not a big Josh Oliver guy. Never was. Hope to be wrong. Wydock 5000 says Marone should have been gone, and Caldwell had a play of roster of 17, got robbed by refs for Pat's 18. Was injuries not his fault?
You're not getting rid of Marone in a transition season where you're trying to see where a 6th-round draft pick quarterback is going to be your quarterback of the future or not. What coach is going to sign up for that job? Nobody. So that wasn't happening this year, whether you should have been or not. I do think it happens next year.
Yeah, I mean, I think next year is a huge indicator of the future of this team and where they go. Again, I hope that everything works out well. But
I like Marone.
A lot of writing on the wall, like you said, of anything could happen.
I think we should bring Del Rio back, personally.
Jags fan Rick says the players like Marone. Yeah, but, players like coaches all the time that get fired. Gus Bradley was very popular.
Everybody loved Bradley.
Everyone loved Gus Bradley.
Yeah.
He was really popular.
Play
Great guy. I mean, if you ever were around the guy, he was very contagious and infectious with his positive energy.
Like
and
motivational speaker type guy.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Doesn't
mean you can coach.
Let's play some ping pong.
Yeah. Richard Jones, will Fournette be re-signed, and do you guys label him a draft bust yet?
No and no.
Yeah. Will not be re-signed, and I think he is a bust.
I wouldn't call him a bust.
If you just look at the guys in his class, Dalvin Cook,
it's not his
Christian
fault.
McCaffrey.
Oh, I would have liked McCaffrey, but it's not his fault that he's a running back that we took in the first round. I mean, that's not his fault. I think he's put up good running back 1 numbers. I mean, I think he sucked from a personal standpoint and being a little baby, but as far as like a football player,
I like Fournette. I've always liked Fournette. I think he's kind of gotten a raw deal as far as playing on teams with no offensive line and no run blocking ability.
I mean, he averaged like 4.3 yards per carry behind that line last year, which is pretty impressive. I wouldn't call it a bust. I mean, I think he'd have to do way worse than he's done to be a bust. And I'm banking on the fact this year is probably going to be his best year ever.
Yeah, I think so too, especially because the help he has. Like we said, Chris Thompson. Just him being able to come in and give you a change of pace back. I mean, even when Carlos Hyde was here and Jamal Charles was here, they gave him nothing. Like, they were nothing here. And again, it's probably because of the offensive line. But
2017 he had Yeldon, and Yeldon had a decent year that year, and that was that kind of like give him a little break, and it was a good year.
Yeah, that's true. But I don't think they re-signed him because I think they're just going to run him to the ground this year and then just go for a younger. You can get a guy in the 5th round to play running back nowadays, which is sad. But the running back position, you have to be able to be a receiver too nowadays. I mean, like I love Ezekiel Elliott. but I think he's probably doesn't have that many years left on his body. Like right
There's no
now,
way.
yes, great, elite, would love Ezekiel Elliott. I don't think Fournette's that far off of him, Ezekiel Elliott. I think Ezekiel Elliott just has a much better offensive line, and he has a quarterback that's extremely mobile and can throw the ball.
Well, look at Derrick Henry. I mean, he is the only reason the Titans were good last year. He carries that team. He barely got a contract.
Yeah, well, he got a fat one, but
Finally.
he got hot at the end of the year too.
Yeah.
Like it was also just as much timing. And that offensive line isn't a scrub offensive line either. I would rank the Titans offensive
they're
line
good.
up there with the Cowboys.
Yeah, or the Colts.
So if you're going to try to combine one of these like horse running backs to be your guy, you've got
gotta
to
have
at
a
least
line.
you got to have a line.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And the Jags tried. I mean, they drafted a second-round left tackle. They signed an expensive left guard.
Norwell, man, throw all that money at
They
him.
got a center who's been really good. The right side of the line, they drafted Juwan Taylor in the second round. Obviously, issues at right guard. But yeah, I mean, I'm rooting for Fournette, and I want him to be good somewhere else.
I do too. I guarantee it's not here.
Yeah, I agree. If Minshew is a bust this year, how would y'all feel about the rookie quarterback we drafted this year starting? Was it like Jacob Luton?
I couldn't even name him. So my guess is going to be no. That's going to be bad.
I don't think Luton is gonna make the team.
Probably not.
Um,
Unless Dobbs decides to actually go be a rocket scientist for like full time. There's no way.
well, I mean,
Who's that? Is it Hoyer? Is that the
no, it's who is it? Not Mc. Well, I want to say McCown because I feel like
Cade?
McCown is the backup here every year. Good thing I have the roster pulled up here. Luton, Mike Glennon.
Oh, Glennon.
Yeah,
Yeah, that guy's sitting on like 40 large from Chicago.
he's 6'7". Holy
He-
crap!
he's that
I did not
he's
realize
that
he was that big.
Prototypical guy, man.
That's 6'7".
Can't
That's
do
like
it.
that's huge.
Yeah.
Jake Luton 6'6". Goodness, we got the tallest quarterback room in the league. I like it.
If Minshew goes down, we're done.
Yeah, but I mean that's kind of what we're banking on.
That's the whole point.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If he goes down, then we just go and we draft Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields or whoever else.
Let's not even say that second guy's name. Because if you put that out there, the Jags will take him instead of Lawrence. Guaranteed.
Winning the tank battle is not easy. I don't think people realize how
I'm not
hard
even
it
saying
is
that.
to
I'm
win.
saying that we could win the tank battle and still take Justin Fields.
No, there's no way. There's no way. There's no way.
Yeah, keep saying that.
And with the first overall pick,
Exactly.
the Jags take Justin Fields.
Or they'll trade up to get him.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I love it.
I don't even think about that.
Haas all says I'm not even mad about the Jalen Ramsey trade. We got CJ and 2 first-rounders next year. This team is going to be real nice, young team in a few years. What do y'all think? I agree.
I agree. We should have got rid of him. I just don't know why we got rid of drawing a blank right now. Guy we traded to Denver.
Campbell, Bouye?
Booyah. There was no point in getting rid of him.
His contract was huge.
It wasn't that bad.
No, dude. No, he was getting like 22 a year.
I think cap hit was like 6 or 7.
That's it.
I think so.
No, he was on like an 80. He was like
Was
on,
he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was. He was on a fat deal.
I mean, if we had kept him though, our secondary would be pretty legit.
he wasn't that good last year.
Yeah, he was.
When he moved into that DB1 spot, he was not impressive. He wasn't. I'm sorry. The most impressive corner on our team last year was DJ Hayden, and he was playing in the nickel position.
You're right.
So, Jan is a great player, and I think he will play for the money. But as a fan, I no longer want him here. We need players that genuinely want to be here, and those guys will make for better team chemistry.
Yeah, we already talked about that.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Jags fan Rick says Foles was tall too.
Great point, Jag fans, right? That was awesome.
Yeah, there's been a lot of tall quarterbacks that have not been good. By no means did I mean that. What was Brock Osweiler, like 6'8"?
I'm sure.
Dude could have played power forward for the Orlando Magic. Well, I hate taking a quick break because we got like 30 people watching us right now, which is amazing. We love you guys.
It's pretty cool.
Give us like 2 minutes to get a quick little break here. And
Sounds
then,
good.
We will be right back. Keep your questions coming. We'll come back with a second segment and end it with that. Thanks, guys. We'll be right back. All right, we told you guys it'd be a quick break, and we're back. Joey, did you enjoy that break?
I did. That was much needed. The bathroom was calling.
Yeah. We'll probably throw in sponsors there in the podcast when we post this later. So just go ahead and give the obligatory support the sponsors.
We still have sponsors?
Hey, you like that fat check you're getting every month?
I do. I'm just wondering where it's coming from.
Speaking of that, if you haven't noticed, we have transitioned to Jaguars United, which we have a website with articles, YouTube videos. If you like to write articles about the Jags and you are a writer and you're a Jags fan, we'd love to have you on board as a writer. You can just send us a DM on Twitter. That's probably the easiest way to get a hold of us. You can also email us at jagsunited@gmail.com. And we would love to talk to you about some opportunities to write for our website.
That'd be pretty sweet.
You can check out our website. We have apparel. This sweet shirt I'm wearing right here, you can get one for yourself.
Well, I guarantee one thing is that's not changed since the name has is it's still all about the fans. Like it's a fan show. We're fans. Y'all are fans. Hearing y'all's stuff written, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I agree. And one of our longtime friends, Patrick Jackson,
PJ
wrote an article for us.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, I've got to go check that out. I didn't get a notification, nothing.
Yeah, it was called Views from Across the Pond, and he's
Okay.
one of our faithful UK followers.
That sounds like a attempt at a running segment.
Yeah, and yeah, I think
I
so.
like that.
I like that. And we had some. We have a guy who edits all the articles, journalism guy, who actually knows what he's doing. So we send all the articles to him.
I'm finding this out at the same time, guys. So this is pretty good information.
I sent him the
this
article
is official stuff
from PJack, and he was like, "This is like all British shorthand." I
don't even know what to correct.
Yeah, to translate.
Is
it
this
all
how they spell
in
it?
English? So yeah, it was great.
What's a boot?
All right, let's get back to the YouTube comments. YouTube's fun. If you're listening to the podcast later, or if you're watching a YouTube video that we post later, where we're kind of just like showing a recap of it. Make sure to subscribe so you can get notifications for when Joey and me go live so you can be part of the conversation. Mike and me did a live show during the NFL draft, and we had like 500 people in the channel just like talking.
Which is awesome.
It was awesome. UCF Jaguar says, "What's going on, fellas?" UCF Jaguar, not much is going on. Hope you're all doing good. UCF Jaguar is one of the GOATs in Jaguars YouTube, so click on his name there and give him a subscription.
That's honestly one of the reasons why I almost quit was we had the best podcast ever with UCF, and due to technical difficulties.
That was Zach Goodall.
Was it? Oh, Zach Goodall.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I'm sure he appreciates being confused with
hey, that's
else.
top quality, man. They're both upper echelon of their game, so both cool guys too.
Yeah. Alex Icarus, do y'all believe Jack will have a Pro Bowl season this year now that we have Joe Schobert at middle linebacker?
I don't see why not. Right? I mean, if he can just play to his athletic ability and not have to worry about organizing the defense and all that stuff, I mean, absolutely. I mean, he's the caliber player to do it, right?
Let me tell you a little bit of the secret of the YouTube that we do. I have a subscription to NFL Rewind, which basically you can go back and you can watch game film. I have a program that records your computer, so game clips. And NFL Rewind has a sweet feature where you can type in a player's name and it brings up all of the plays that they were involved in. So we did a linebacker breakdown video. I typed in Miles Jack in an attempt to get all of the Miles Jack film to put in the video. I couldn't
find it?
I couldn't fill 2 minutes of video.
Wow.
I mean, he only played in 11 games, and I love Miles Jack. I couldn't get 2 minutes of clips from him this year just making tackles.
Just that many missed assignments,
Just
like bad
wasn't
angles.
involved. And I know he was injured and he had injury issues. Wasn't involved in this year's defense. I get it. He had to play Mike. He had to play middle linebacker. He had to do a lot this year. Joe Schobert is going to alleviate a lot. But he's got a lot of stepping up to do this year. Okay. A lot.
Is it possible, though? Do you think his
It's
ceiling...
definitely possible,
Okay.
but I don't think he will. I don't think he'll have a
Our
good year.
entire season is a bunch of what ifs.
Yeah,
so
but
that's what everybody's looking for.
I don't think he will, though, unfortunately. I like Miles Jack. I think what we got out of him in 2017 was kind of an anomaly given the fact of the talent around him, because since then, even before then, we haven't seen that Miles Jack.
True.
So
He does make good candles, though.
he does. I think I still have mine around here somewhere.
That's lasted a long time, then.
Yeah, well, I haven't burned it. I only burn it when you're around. Lovell Evans says, I'm a Gator fan.
Yes, sir.
So I love C.J. Henderson. I believe he will be a great replacement for Ramsey. Maybe not in season 1, knock on plastic. But I hope he gets off to a great start, but he will be great. I agree.
I have to question his Gator fandomness because he was so frustrating last year. But
2018, he was like,
I know,
dude. Who he reminds me of, and I know people will get on me all the time. He reminds me of Patrick Peterson,
which is
he played for the Cardinals for a long time. He's like shutdown corner, one of the best corners in the league. Sticky. Put the guy manned up and look. Mike Evans might go over top of him and catch the ball over his head, but he's going to be on his hip. And he's going to be grabbing his jersey, and he's going to be right there. He never gets burnt in man. I'm excited for him, too. I think Lovell Evans is spot on with everything he just said.
Well, I mean, the last thing we need is turnovers on defense and better tackling, so I'm with you guys.
Ethan Prophet says YouTube is great. Thank you, Ethan. Appreciate that.
Heck, or should YouTube say thank you?
YouTube, yeah. DJ M says, do you guys hear about the relocation rumors for the Jags? Oh, it's a joke. Got us. He says, just kidding, though.
Oh.
Yeah, no, they're not going to. I think. Oh, Brandon, I like this. Brandon Latouche says, I think Jaguars United, UCF Jags, and Trebe Talks all need to do a YouTube videos. Love you guys. Keep it up.
Nice. All quality people. That'd be fun.
Yeah. Trebe's kind of sketchy, though.
Yeah.
Just kidding. You can tell him I said that. All right. Alex Icarus, if we relocate anywhere, we're going to London. That's probably true. And if we do, Jaguars United will probably be...
That's even better.
We'll be the front runners for the media there.
Jason's no dummy.
Mile High Jaguar says, after being snubbed last year for the Defensive Rookie of the Year, do you think that Josh Allen will continue to outperform Nick Bosa, considering he will now have more of a starting role?
Man, I think he has the potential, and that's my hope. I mean, if he gets all the snaps this year, I mean, he can only build on last year, right?
Yeah, I mean, but there's no doubt that there's a thing called a sophomore slump for a reason. I mean, at the same time, like, how much did I mean? Look, I'm just trying to play devil's advocate.
You're trying to play like the defenses have tape on him and kind of know his tendencies.
I
maybe,
think the bigger issue is that Ngakoue, if he's not there, like, how much attention did Ngakoue and Calais Campbell draw from offensive lines? Like, if you're an offensive coordinator and you're planning your run game or your pass game, you're saying, okay, double team Calais Campbell, double team Yannick Ngakoue, and then we'll put one guy on Josh Allen. We'll put one guy on a blitzing Miles Jack. We'll put one guy on Avery Jones. You put one guy on Taven Bryan.
Do you have to put a guy on Taven?
Yeah, no, just confuse him. Just whistle or something. But is that going to happen?
I see your point.
Is that going to happen when Ngakoue's gone?
But I mean, you actually probably have broken down that tape. I mean, how many times were both of those guys double teamed and Allen just ran free for a sack? I mean,
not a lot. I mean,
because honestly, Campbell and Ngakoue didn't have that great of a year last year.
Well, Campbell did.
It was okay.
Campbell, I think, it's just hard. I don't know how this happened. Somehow, Calais Campbell graded out as like one of the top run defenders in the league. I don't know how it happened because the Jags' run defense was horrible, 27th in the league.
I just ran around him.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a big guy, just go
exactly. Yeah. So I don't know.
I'm depressed that he's gone, dude. I like that guy. Like, I would have liked him to have played a couple more years here, and he could have gone into the Jaguars Hall of Fame, the Ring of Honor, all that good stuff, and he was awesome.
I know people are mad. I see it all the time on Twitter. People are mad about the fact that we didn't get much value out of him. But we threw him a bone, dude. For everything he did in Jacksonville, we were like, bro, go win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Go to Baltimore.
No, I get it. It was
go
good
do
for
your
him,
thing.
but
dude, I'm rooting for Baltimore so hard this year because of Calais Campbell.
I think at one point I actually said I am a Baltimore Raven fan now because I was so
Is that
mad.
why you're wearing Ravens purple?
No.
Is that
but
Fletcher purple?
I would. I actually have a Jag shirt on, dude. What are you talking about?
Sorry, colorblind. All right, let's see here. Please don't yell. It says, glad to see the boys are back. That's our boy Noah. Look, we got to give another plug to another YouTube channel. Click on Please Don't Yell's name and go subscribe to his YouTube channel. Hilarious.
Dude, Noah is a funny dude.
Hilarious, dude. I love his videos. Oh, my gosh.
And he puts out a lot of content, too. And it's like good content.
His sense of humor is like me, dude.
Yeah,
His is my sense of humor, dude. Every time I watch him, I'm just like, oh.
Whenever I come across one, I'm like, oh, I'm going to watch that. Dude, he's funny.
Like, it's the type of humor that, like, you have, like, two people, like, one dude's, like, cracking up. One dude's like, I don't really, like, get it. It's not that funny to me.
It's smart.
It's smart. It's next level, yeah, for sure. Lovell Evans says UCF Jaguar is my go-to guy when it comes to Jaguars. So, yes, he is the GOAT. Yeah, he is. We love him. But you guys are not far behind. Oh, that's good. We're on his coattails.
I'm just glad to be you guys now. It's not just Jason again. So that's cool. I'm back.
Richard Jones, who's the best overall player on our team right now? Richard, you tell us. You tell us who is the best overall player.
I like it. Put it back on him.
Put you on the spot, Richard. I want to know
We're just
who
going
you
to sit
said.
here and wait for your answer.
Yeah,
Richard.
you tell us who you think is going to be the best on the team. You tell us in the chat. I mean, we got almost 30 people still watching somehow, which I love. Who's the best player on the roster?
I like that question, though, so I'm going to think about that.
And people are going to say Chark, and that's fair. And people are going to say Josh Allen, and that's fair. Let's see. Let's see how original we get because, well, let's start with you, Joey. Who would you say?
I'm going to go out on a limb on this one, non-fence sitting, and I think Norwell actually plays his butt off this year and gets back to form.
Wow. Did not see that coming. I did not see that coming.
I think it's going to happen. He was kind of hurt when he came in, and I think he's got a lot to prove because he's not done. He's going to want to go somewhere else and play. You know, I mean, I know he's made some money, but I think he's got the ability. He's got the years in the league. I mean, I think he could do it.
Alex Icarus says, la 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 la, Lambo.
Oh. You took mine, man. I didn't think about Lambo. That's usually my response to the kicker. Lambo's automatic, dude.
I was kind of thinking you were going to say that.
I'm just praying it's Norwell, man, because God, that would have been the worst.
Well, I think they did restructure his deal this year.
I hope so.
So yeah, he's not making as much as he did last year. I mean, how can you take that? I mean,
you should get a ham sandwich, a big giant water, and then like everything else be incentives.
Richard Jones says Joe Schobert. I like that answer.
That would be awesome.
Okay.
I think we're seeing some fandom here, though. Like that's like Norwell's. I want him to be good. Schubert, I want him to be good. Like they're necessities. But
yeah.
Are they going to be?
I like Schubert. And considering he wasn't on a great defensive unit. Now against the pass, I think the Browns were like 7th, but against the run, they were worse than the Jags. I mean, they were 30th in yards given up against the run. So the Browns were actually worse than the Jags against the run, which is hard to believe. But you have to factor in that the Jags actually weren't that bad the first like 5 weeks of the season against the run.
So averages.
Yeah, that's what it averages out.
So who's your pick then, Jason?
Well, I kind of put myself into a pigeonhole when I said that everyone's going to say DJ Chark and Josh Allen, but I mean
they're off the list then.
Okay, so if they're off the list, I think the next best player on the team is Leonard Fournette, and I think it's because he can do multiple things. He can run the ball between the tackles. He can play in the receiving game, and I mean the dude. If you really go back and watch the film, like you feel bad for Leonard Fournette.
Absolutely,
you're like, dude, he tried. The dude is shaking defenders 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
He'll miss a hole every once in a while, but the majority of the time, like he's getting hit the first 2 yards.
Yeah,
and he makes something happen.
Yeah, I mean, I think PFF has a stat about like yards after first contact, and Fournette is like up there because he makes stuff kind of happen.
I like it.
If Chark can work on his route running, he can be on the next level. That's true. Chark didn't really give us much outside of like vertical, back shoulder, deep post. You know, the underneath guys were kind of more like Conley and Westbrook and Fournette and all that.
But does he need to be that guy?
I mean, if he could do that, he could be a well-rounded receiver. I mean, he could be a guy that could work the middle of the field or a guy that can come across or give you something in a 5-step drop besides a vertical. I don't know. We got another Lambo vote. I like Laviska Shenault. I think he's going to be great outside of health. Outside of being able to play, he's going to be the best player we have. No, I mean, I'm rooting for him. Minshew has just enough of everything. Speed, strength, skill. He's just truly built for football.
Other than the fact that he's 6 foot tall and doesn't weigh in, I mean, he's small.
Yeah, he's kind of short. That hurts you in the NFL.
It does.
There's a reason why Mike Glennon is 6.
I mean, I'm not even saying so much about looking over the line and all that stuff. I'm saying like a guy of his, like the way he plays. Yeah, he's like balls to the wall, just like hardcore. He gets hit all the time. Even if he's not getting sacked, like he's getting glancing blows. And we saw that last year to some extent. Like a lot of games, like he's limping off the field and he's just hard nosed. So he came back in. You're a little guy, man. That adds up quick. That's my concern with him.
We have a vote for Logan Cook, who
I love these guys. Who's that?
Alex Icarus. I mean, he was good last year. I like Logan Cook. I like Logan Cook. I'll be the first to tell you that.
It's just the best two guys in the Jags are the punter and kicker.
Tyler Shatley is the future.
I'm a Shatley fan.
I'm a Shatley fan too, and I like that auto. But what makes you say that, Otto? Because I have met Shatley one time, and in that one interaction, I was very impressed with him.
He's a scary dude.
Yeah, I was able to form an opinion on him in one interaction, and I like him.
You're being kind of vague. Where was this at? Is this something you can story on, or
like most stories here? I can't.
Fair enough.
I can't.
Sorry, I put you on the spot.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. The reason why I'm privy to so much information is because I'm a trusted.
Keep your sources and your understood.
Exactly. Lambeau is so overlooked in this league. Well, he's a kicker, and
he wasn't that great on San Diego.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say anything else you could have said. I would have disagreed with. But besides that,
okay,
he wasn't that great. I was like, no, I'm disagreeing. And then you said San Diego. I was like, okay, that's fine. Apparently, short but thick. Someone is short but thick. Oh, Minshew. The thighs. Yes. Quadzilla. Okay. All right. So we get it. Minshew, we get it. Okay, we get it. I look.
The best part is it's a bunch of dudes saying this.
I have no shame. I mean, dude.
I've got my jorts, man.
Yeah,
I rock them.
Absolutely not. How confident are you guys in Gardner being the Jags franchise quarterback, or do you guys have your sights set for Trevor? Realistically, Joey, I want to hear your answer on this. We kid, we joke.
We do. And honestly,
but give me your honest answer.
My honest answer is I want Minshew to be the guy.
Not want.
Okay, what do I think?
How confident are you?
No, I'm not confident at all.
That's the question.
Yeah. I think he'll maybe do what he did last year. I hope he doesn't win enough games to where we don't get Trevor Lawrence is my honest answer.
So you're betting.
I'm not betting. You asked me what I think's going to happen.
If I backed that question up and I said, you have to bet your retirement fund.
My retirement fund on the over-under?
Is Minshew going to do enough next year to stay the starter, or is he not? Where are you putting your roulette chips down?
1,000% not going to do enough to be the starter, but do enough to where we're not going to get Trevor Lawrence.
That's probably realistic, but I like to think that he's going to do enough to keep the job.
What would that take? 9 wins?
I think it depends on a lot of different things. It's hard to put it on a win number. I think some variables come into play.
It's all about the wins, though.
But, I mean, look, if you win 9 games and miss the playoffs and you win...
I didn't say playoffs.
I'm saying, but if you win 7 games and make the playoffs, what if you make the playoffs with 7 wins and then you win a playoff game? What if you win 9 games and you don't make the playoffs?
I could totally see them limping into the playoffs.
Exactly.
And Minshew blowing it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. So then
You're
what?
Right.
Let's say they somehow limp in. They did enough in the offense this year to add enough pieces to where they limp into the playoffs as a wild card. They upset somebody because Minshew gets hot in the first round of the playoffs. Does that warrant him the starting job?
Absolutely.
That's how we ended up with the Bortles mess, though.
Well,
I mean, we ended up with the same mess with Bortles.
It's different, though, because Bortles that team was pretty loaded.
That's what I'm saying.
But we're not. We're young and in a good salary cap position.
Well,
and we got more draft picks next year. So the question is, do you want to use all those draft picks to support Minshew and not take a quarterback? Because if that was the option, are you kidding me? Next year's draft would be amazing if we don't have to think about quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably solve your offensive line issue, and
Absolutely.
You could probably solve your wide receiver issue, which I think
that would be the best case scenario. Jags would be back at that point. We've got Brunell 2.0, and we're going to make a run for the next few years. But come on, man. It's like a Disney movie.
Lovell Evans says, it better be Gardner Minshew. He is my Southern Aaron Rodgers.
That needs some explanation.
You know, Aaron Rodgers is not very well liked by people. Minshew's loved. Aaron Rodgers'
personality.
I get the playing style. I'm not ignorant.
Aaron Rodgers has a cannon.
I know. I like Minshew's arm. I like Minshew's arm, but dude, Aaron Rodgers is no one likes Aaron Rodgers. No one. No. Brett Favre didn't like Aaron Rodgers.
His own family doesn't like him.
Yeah. Deny Airy says Minshew is going to be okay, but he is not going to be a franchise guy. That's sad, but I think you're right.
I think that's it.
He says 4,000 yards, 30 touchdowns, and 13 picks. That's a franchise guy.
That is
4,000 yards, 30 touchdowns, and 13 picks is
That's
a
franchise.
franchise guy.
That'd put you in the top 10 of quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Yeah, I think he's going to try to uncork it more this year for DJ and Dede. Okay.
I mean, I think what people, when they think of franchise quarterback, everybody's looking at Patrick Mahomes because he's a phenom. He's a freak at quarterback position. But you don't need a Patrick Mahomes.
No.
You need a top 10 quarterback. I'd
Yeah.
take a Matt Ryan. I mean,
Would you take a Josh Allen, Buffalo Bills Josh Allen?
yeah.
Yeah, I would too. What would have to happen for you to trade our first 2 rounds to move up for Trevor? Oof, gosh. Well, if you think about it,
We wouldn't have to if we were,
unless we were like really far from the first pick.
yeah, which then we wouldn't do that, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, maybe what if Trevor goes off next year? Like,
Trevor could do nothing next year, and he's still a guaranteed lock franchise quarterback.
would you have traded 2 first-round picks for Joe Burrow?
Yes. And that would have been riskier than Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, I agree. I'm trying to get caught up on these comments. Sorry, guys, if I skip you, I'm sorry. I'm just not good at talking.
Well,
and
they're coming
reading
in
at
hot
the
and heavy
same
too. I mean, that's not easy.
Jags fan Rick says he believes in the stash. Haas All says I pray for O-line in next year's draft. I agree, but O-line is so boring. People hate drafting O-line, and I was so wrong about Juwan Taylor, dude. I was like, take Juwan Taylor at 9 or whatever it was, 7, whatever. I don't know, can't remember. Take Juwan Taylor. They didn't, and I was like, well, they probably should have taken Juwan Taylor. Then they got Juwan Taylor in the second round. I was like, what, dude? I'm like way off. Like, unless you're in that world, I don't think anyone has any idea where anyone's going to go because, I mean, there's 15 billion mock drafts out there. They're all completely different. Does anyone really know what's going to happen from year to year?
No, I mean, I think that's the hardest thing about it is like everybody agrees offensive line is like the base of your team. Like you've got to have it in the trenches, and I think it's just one of the hardest positions to actually tell if a guy in college is going to be good in the pros. I guess.
Yeah.
I mean,
It really is, especially offensive line.
yeah.
Mile High Jaguar, what are your thoughts on Luke Barco? Will he be the steal of our undrafted rookie class? Jags Nation for life.
He's getting deep. I'm gonna have to.
Joey has no idea who that is.
I mean, you're gonna have to Google something or hand this off to Jason.
Yeah, you're gonna hand it off to me. I'm upset because I can't remember where he's from, but I can tell you all about him because we were asked this question in a YouTube comment, and I did my due diligence and I watched film on him.
Does have a fantastic name.
Yeah, he's from San Diego State, 6'1", 175. I remember now how I felt about him.
What position?
Defensive back, very athletic. I like his size. I like his frame. I don't like his weight. I'd like to add some. I mean, 174. That's light.
Yeah, I
that's
graduated
real
high school
light.
with that.
6'1" though. That's a good frame. He can put weight on. Here's what I didn't like about Barco is that he was a little high in his coverage. Meaning, when you're 6'1" and you're a DB, your tendency is that you're going to be too tall. You have to be able to be low to the ground, change directions quick, swivel your hips. He had some issues with that at San Diego State. He also had some issues in like zone defense, I think is what it was. I'm actually not comfortable in saying that. I can't remember. But
sorry to interrupt you, but either way, you're talking about
he was stiff. I'm sorry. An undrafted free
You're
agent.
talking about him having issues going up against the vaunted offenses of whatever conference San Diego
I
State's
think they're
in.
Pac-12 now, honestly. Which, I mean, isn't great, but I mean, it's not like...
Okay.
Yeah. No, I mean, and I like his speed, and I like his ability to go for the... And I like his ball skills. I don't like how high he plays, and I don't like his stiffness. Again, that's me nitpicking. Luke Barco could come in here and beat my ass if he wanted to. Even at 174 pounds, I have 25 pounds on him, and I think he could still take me.
We couldn't take us both. That'd be like 400-something pounds versus 175.
I think you'd be surprised. Yeah. Invisible Color says Minshew progression over one season has been impressive. Is that agreeable?
Yeah.
Yeah, especially given the offense he had last year was horrible.
I think there's zero doubt that he had not a lot to work with. He got thrown into it, and the dude is super smart. I mean, like his football IQ is probably tops in the league. I mean, I have no doubt about that. I think his desire is there. He's got the heart. He's got the work ethic. I mean, he's got all of it except for just the physical attributes, man.
Yeah.
And those are okay, but they're not elite quarterback in my mind. So that's the concern.
Please don't yell. Says I feel like Minshew has to win 8 games to undoubtedly lock up the starting job. Yeah, at least.
I would think.
At least.
Yeah.
Do the Jags get the respect they deserve? No.
Never.
I'm pretty sure Devon Hamilton and Josiah Scott are on the reserves COVID-19 list, by the way.
There were 4 today. Put on. There's actually a COVID list now. It's not injured reserve. It is a COVID list. I think you've got. There's no limit on it, like there is with everything else, and I think they have to be on it for 4 weeks. Don't quote me on that part of it, but yeah, we did have 4 pop, all young guys.
That's strange.
Yeah.
Banks says it's hard to take a skill position next year based on our wide receiver group production, like Dede, or our cornerback group, like Herndon. If we don't go O-line, I like Jamar or Surtain.
Oh, we're already talking about draft?
Yeah, let's just get through this year. I like where your head's at, Banks. We'll probably will be picking in the top 5. Let's get there first. Let's just get there first. Denny Airy says he's off. Great live stream. Thanks. We're probably off soon as well. He says happy to see Joey back. We all are.
Yeah, I'm happy to be back, man. Honestly, like, it's fun.
I think you will see more of us consistently in the future. Especially with these sweet new microphones.
We just had to work out the contract negotiations behind the scene. Jason wanted this. I wanted this.
I
had to play a little bit of hardball.
I was trying to franchise tag him. I was trying to get him to go for one more season, and I would make him a top 5 podcaster throughout the league if he just played out his contract. But no.
I was like, Jacksonville's a small market. I'm not dealing with that. I
Joey
want
had to
LA
go to
or New
Twitter,
York,
he had
man.
to badmouth us and all that stuff. But, you know.
I don't even look at Twitter or know how to use it. So, that's not true. Facebook, yeah, I dogged you on Facebook hard.
Mindset says the Jags don't get the respect they deserve. They have more playoff wins than the Cowboys and 19 other teams since 1998.
Well, that's a cool stat. That's not one you hear very much.
I like that. I like that
a lot.
Is our offensive line a bottom 5 unit in the league?
No. I don't think so this year. I'm buying into the hype a little bit with that. It's the first time in like 17 seasons the Jags are returning the same 5 or starting offensive line. That's got to mean something, man.
Yeah. It means something.
I mean, not that we love all of them.
It means something.
But nobody's coming back from an injury.
Nothing like having Will Richardson back.
Why, when I'm the Sunshine
Welcome
Pumper,
back,
you got to be
buddy.
the Black Cloud?
Welcome back, buddy. Mile High Jag says, yep. Welcome back, Joey. I think we're all can
I appreciate that, guys. Man, that makes me feel good.
Oh, heck yeah, dude. I've had to hold down the fort without you. It's been kind of lonely.
Hey, we got stuff to talk about now.
Lonely, for sure.
It's going to build from here.
All right, well, Joey, any closing thoughts? Anything you want to say to the 28 people that are watching right now?
No, I just appreciate you guys on there. I mean, literally, this is like the best thing is when we just answer fans' questions and go back and forth with you guys. That's so much fun. I don't have to do a lot of research when that happens. It's just off the cuff, which is even better because I don't do a lot of research. So I love it. I appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. We are definitely going to cut up some of the best of this live stream, and we're going to put it on the YouTube channel for people that missed it. It's also going to be on a podcast. Probably the entire conversation will be on a podcast. You can check out the Big Cat Country feed if you go on podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. You can also check out the website. Again, has the apparel, has all the videos, all things like that. You can check it out. Check out our Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. And
are we going to recommit to consistent Mondays to the best of our ability?
I think Mondays are going to be a good day. You know, there's been a acceleration in content. So I would love to lock down some consistency with you, Joey, if we could do that.
I'll sign up for that right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys so much for watching. We appreciate you guys. Check everything out. We can't wait to give us your thoughts on it. Everything we've said, give us your thoughts. We'll get back to them on the next video, and we'll catch you next week. And as always, go Jags.
Go Jags.